Good morning, beloveds. I'm very distracted this morning. Yes, there is a cat, but that's not just it. They are doing Queen Elizabeth II's funeral on TV live. And of course, you know, it started at like 4:30 in the morning. Did I get up at 4:30? No, because I have the power of the DVR. And so we decided to go ahead and record our favorite, network news channel. And then we also, because we have BBC, recorded. And that thing started at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we were watching that. And yeah, it's interesting and historic and all the, normal things that you would say. Okay, let's see. So the title, it is September 19th. It is The Power of a Made-Up Mind. The first quote is, "Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness is genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now." And that is Goethe. Goethe. Philosopher. Interesting. Okay. And the second quote is, I can read it, but it's a little, catch me in 2 weeks and I'll probably be able to read it. Let's see. "A person alone is able to consciously work out their own destiny to determine what manner of life they shall lead." And that is Science of Mind 391. On the spiritual path, one of the greatest attributes one can have is that of commitment. Stated another way, life responds not to what we wish or even what we desire. Life responds to a made-up mind. Someone once said, "Until one is committed to a task, then there is a chance to draw back. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things come to help you that would otherwise never have occurred. When you do your share, God does its. Doors open for you that you would not have expected. A whole stream of events unfolds that brings a host of unforeseen meetings and material assistance which you would not have dreamed would have come your way." One Christmas, a woman wanted to take her children to see a special performance of the Nutcracker Ballet. Unfortunately, the tickets had been sold out for weeks, and the waiting list was also filled. Nevertheless, she was totally committed to seeing the show. She visualized the outcome and affirmed that she would be at that evening's performance with her children. 2 hours before the show, a friend who worked as a tour guide called. He had just arrived in town to see the Nutcracker with his tour, but 3 clients could not attend. Would she and her children like to come? Many would call this coincidence. Those who understand the workings of the divine mind know that the woman's 100% intention to be at the show drew her the good she desired. The same can be true for you when you tap the power of a made-up mind. I now tap the power of the made-up mind. I choose my goals and commit to them wholeheartedly. As I do, the universe moves in to support me, and I give thanks for this blessing. And that is D.B. Douglas Block. The power of a made-up mind. It is about commitment. It is a fully committing, because he talks about wishes and he talks about desires, and then he talks about the made-up mind. It's like when you fully commit, then resources come out of the woodwork that you hadn't expected. It's like we can wish all we want, but wishing doesn't. There's no power behind a wish. Okay. We have all kinds of desires, and frankly, some of our wishes and our desires, it's a good thing that, they don't happen, because they're not really what we really want. It's what we think we want, but not what we really want. When we make up our mind and actually commit to, and say yes, and that's what it is. It's that power of yes. When we wrap our thoughts and our feelings around it, when we tap into that power, then it's like when we take a step towards God, God takes 2 steps towards us. And that's what the power of a made up mind is. It's like once you have made up your mind, then things start to happen. The universe starts to move to you. But part of that, and it's not necessarily coincidence, part of that is that, you start to see opportunities that you wouldn't have seen if you hadn't made up your mind to. So it's like, okay. And that's the power of a made up mind. It's like commit, cause we all know people who waffle, it's like, do I, not? And then you're watching them and you're like, well, but there was that opportunity to do what you have said you want to do. And it just sailed right past you because you're waffling. So sometimes what you need to do, oftentimes what you need to do is just commit. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard because, you are going to make sacrifices to get the things that you really want, but it's worth it in the long run. So, and that's what committing is. Committing is saying, I will forego all else until I get this. And then that way, and so your focus kind of narrows down, but it also widens out. So it narrows down to, this is what I want. And I'm going to let go of everything else while I'm working on this. But then once you've narrowed your focus also widens out so that you see all of these opportunities that move you towards what it is that you have stated that you want. In his example, this woman has a friend, who has a tour company, and she's like, and I'm sure that her tour, somewhere in the conversation, she said, I'd really like to see this play, and so when somewhere, and the client said, and she had 2 children, and 3 clients came out, and she was the first person that this person thought to call. Hey, I know you want to see this. I've got 3 tickets. Let's go. And so, if she wasn't 100% committed, which she probably talked to people. And that's one of the things. You got to balance that made up mind. It's like, who do you tell and who do you not tell? Because you never want to tell, when you've made up your mind, you don't ever want to tell somebody who's going to try and talk you out of it. Especially once you've made up your mind. Because they're not going to be able to, but you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. So once you have made up your mind, you need to be, discretion is the better part of valor in who you tell. Because some of the people that you tell are absolutely going to move you along your pathway. And some of the people that you could tell, they're going to try and get in your way. And so, use discernment, because you never know when you state an intention who might be willing and able to help you. I had an interesting conversation when I went to get my first vaccination. I met the hospital chaplain, one of the hospital chaplains, and, I said, so tell me about what you do, and have that conversation with him. And one of the things that came out of that conversation was, well, if you're not, it's like, we can get you into a weekend certification, chaplain certification. So it's like, if I wanted to become a chaplain this week, that wouldn't necessarily, but I could call him and say, hey, he's like, cause he was like ready to offer me a job right there. So that's the kind of things cause you never know. I was in a hospital to get a vaccination and had a conversation with a hospital chaplain. Okay. And discovered this is how this could happen. So it's like, that's one more resource. So were I to need to do that, I know one place that I could start. Could he help me that weekend? Maybe not, but and so you never know where the help's going to come from. It's going to come from random places once you've committed to the path. Am I ready to become a hospital chaplain? No, I've got a couple other fish that I want to fry first, but you know, that is in the back of my mind. That is absolutely in the back of my mind. That is an end goal. But you know, I have a couple other things I want to do first. So we're working on that. And you know, I'm committed to these other things first. But should the need arise, I've made up my mind. Okay, so and that's what I'm talking about. The power of a made up mind is because, one, it narrows your focus. It's like, okay, it narrows your focus down to this is what I am working on. And then it widens that focus out so that you see all of the opportunities that come with that made up mind. It's like, okay, this is what I want. I'm focused on this. Now show me all the opportunities. And Spirit will. Spirit will. I always go back to, and I never remember, I'm pretty sure it's Hafiz. It's like, joy has been running through the streets, calling your name, calling for you since it first heard your name. And that's the power of a made up mind. As soon as you have made up your mind, all of the opportunities will come looking for you. And you will see them because you have narrowed your focus to those kind of opportunities. All right. Absolutely power of made up mind. It's a fantastic thing. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about when we have to ask for things, because it signals our willingness to do. When we ask for whatever it is that we want, we wish for, we desire, we have signaled that we've made up our mind. You know, yes, Spirit can absolutely grant any little whim you have, but it's not going to. It's going to grant the one you're committed to. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, that's it. It's the power of the made up mind. If there is something that you have been waffling on, wishy-washy about, is this really what you want? Make up your mind. And do what you need to do. You know, do your research. Do your spiritual practice where you go deep within and go, is this really what I want? That is an excellent question to ask yourself always. Is this mine to do? You know, do that spiritual, do the treatment, do the meditation, do the spiritual practice. And then sit back and watch the power of a made up mind. All right. So, and that is the mission today. The mission any day. When you're thinking about something, the power of a made up mind is an amazing thing. All right. So that is the mission. You've got your mission today. And I am going to, lean back. Remind you that the other mission that we have every day is to do something loving for ourselves, do something kind for ourselves, do something compassionate for ourselves, whatever that looks like. Today is my last day before I go back to work. I wanted to take as much time as possible. Their need for me to come back a little earlier than I did last time is a little greater. So, but I knew that they had today covered, and I was like, okay, I'm taking Monday. I know you would rather go do this, but one less day that I have to worry about bending over, because I'm expecting on Friday they'll lift that restriction. So that's what I'm saying. Loving, kind, compassionate. Could I go back to work today? Yes. I mean, you just watched me read that without my reading glasses, so yay. But I'm 5 days out from eye surgery. I'm going to take the time that I need to heal as much as I can, so that going back to work is less frustrating for me and the customers when I can't see something. So that's what loving, kind, compassionate. It looks like self-care. It absolutely looks like self-care. But it also looks like taking a moment to really enjoy, okay? It means to savor that cup of coffee, or savor that cup of tea, or savor that piece of cake. You know, cake is okay. Anything is okay in moderation, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people. Just when you do things like that, make sure that you are engaging all 5 of your senses and really enjoying what it is that you're doing. All right. Commit to it, because that's the watchword of today. Commit. Okay. So that can look like taking a deep breath. That can look like taking a walk. That can look like taking a nap. That can look like taking an extra day for yourself, because occasionally we need days off. That can look like, sitting in front of your TV watching Queen Elizabeth's funeral all day. Because you're going to learn a lot of history there. You're going to see a lot of fascinating buildings and what have you, and learn a lot of stuff. Because I'm married to a history major, so, he's thrilled right now. And I'm interested too, from the point of anthropology. So, take care of yourself. All right. It is about creating a first response, a default setting, a habit. If you can respond with love, with kindness, with compassion, no matter what happens, we're that much closer to making a world that works for everybody. That's why I suggest it every day. That's why I talk about it for a couple of minutes every day. It is a super important practice, and it is a spiritual practice. So take care of yourself and make sure you're making time to enjoy life. All right. The other things are to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. To drink plenty of water, super important. It's going to be back in the 90s here today. So drink plenty of water, hydration, and get that early in your day bright light. It really does help to reset those circadian rhythms, and you will get, your energy will be better during the day. You'll sleep better at night. It's science. Look it up. And as always, as Ernest says, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind yourself you do live in heaven. Right here, right now, because it's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It means when we connect to the source of our own being, we fill up with that and we channel it into our world. All right? This is superpower, and you have it. All right? So be the hero of your own life and create heaven on earth around you. Connect with the source of your own being. You have that power. All right. Here's where we do the social media stuff. It's Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. The Sunday YouTube is up, and he treated us to a piece from a Hazel Holmes, Ernest's beloved wife. So it was really cool. I didn't even know that she had written anything, and what she wrote was amazing. So Ernest wrote What We Believe. Hazel wrote Why. So go and check that out. It's on the YouTube channel. And it's still on Facebook. So, it's all there. Okay. I think that's, yeah. So have a good day, have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a learning something new day, a taking care of yourself day. It's Monday this year. And Mondays aren't bad. Take care of yourself and you might enjoy them. I do. A magical day, an enchanting day, a wondrous day, a extra catter day, a get stuff done day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. So commit to being that beloved child. Commit to feeling that way and watch your life change. It's pretty cool. So, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And I've run out of words. So, I'm going to go back to watching the Queen's funeral, and take care of yourself. Know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.